Hey, how's it going? It's Brian Page back here again. Just had my last video, actually. So it's a bittersweet moment. So I really enjoy doing these video series, seeing my face up on YouTube, kind of famous. I had like 4 or 5 likes for a lot of my videos. So hopefully we could keep it going. And Module 15, this is about surface anatomy. So this is what we're supposed to cover. So here's my sheet of paper as always with my name, and then the date is 9/12/2021. So in this video, I actually have a guest here today. It's my beautiful wife, Rachel. She'll be the model for her arm, and we're going to talk about the surface anatomy of the arm. In particular, I'm going to identify 5 different important features of the surface anatomy of the arm. And then we're going to talk about what body systems those structures are in. And then I'm going to talk about why surface anatomy is so important, particularly for physicians doing physical examinations. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about the clinical application for 2 of these structures that we might see in the medical field. So let's get started. So here's my my arm for my wife. So this is obviously the arm. Some beautiful tattoos here too. But we're going to take a look at the surface anatomy. This is the biceps brachii here, as far as the muscle. This is the brachioradialis muscle that's right here. So that's 2 structures. 3, this is the antecubital fossa. And within the antecubital fossa, there is the median cubital vein. That's actually where they draw blood a lot of the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, we'll talk about right here, is the medial epicondyle of the humerus. So those are the 5 structures that we identified in the surface anatomy of the beautiful Rachel arm. So what body systems are we're going to talk about? So the brachioradialis and the obviously biceps brachii are the muscular system. The medial epicondyle is the skeletal system, and then the antecubital fossa is part of the skeletal system, but also the median cubital vein is the the cardiovascular system. Drew a blank a little bit there. So the cardiovascular system, as far as the veins draining back to the heart. And so those are the body systems that are involved. So there's multiple as far as the skeletal system, the cardiovascular system, and the muscular system that we talked about. So why is surface anatomy so important? Well, it's particularly important for physicians when they're conducting physical examinations, just to look at the outside of the body. It's very non-invasive, so you don't have to dissect the body, you don't have to do any imaging, but you could see issues and you could compare normal anatomy to abnormal anatomy. For example, you could see swelling in certain areas, you could see track marks if individuals are using substances, so that would be very important too. So surface anatomy is very important because it kind of differentiates the normal anatomy from the not so normal abnormal anatomy. It also is important because when somebody's doing a physical exam, you need to know where the different organs are. For example, you need to know where the heart is placed and the different valves within the heart. So when the doctor is listening to your heart, they're not just going over here, they're going into the particular areas that are important as far as like the location of the heart. So that's very important too. So some clinical applications of 2 of the structures that we talked about earlier with Rachel's arm. So first and foremost, the median cubital fossa, or median cubital vein, is very important because that's where there's easy access to draw blood. So phlebotomists love this area because when you go to draw blood, you could see this vein relatively easily, and it's an easy stick, and you could get that too. So as a psychologist, I think examining an individual and you see track marks, I think that's important as potential cues that they may be using intravenous drugs, etc. So there's an application of that. The second application is in the medial epicondyle, and the application of this is there's a condition named medial epicondylosis, medial epicondylitis, swelling of the medial epicondyle. Let's make it very simple here. So that actually occurs when individuals are playing golf, or when there's a swelling and inflammation of the tendons within the arm. So there's soreness when an individual pronates their arm, and you can actually see some swelling within the medial epicondyle. So when you're examining, you might see some swellness, and when you're when you do the examination, you're definitely going to see pain and swelling within that condition, the epicondylitis, swelling of the epicondyle. Let's make it simple. So that's all actually I have today. So in summary, we talked about 5 different structures with my beautiful wife Rachel as the model. We talked about what body systems those structures were in. We talked about the importance of surface anatomy. And last but not least, we did the clinical application with the drawing of the blood and then the swelling of the epicondyle. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. And although it's my last video, I really appreciate everyone watching. Have a good day. Thanks.